Hello students, welcome to La Excellence. Last time we saw how to approach geomorphology for optionals. Now we'll be seeing the next chapter, that is climatology, and how exactly we need to approach these areas. Because when it comes to geomorphology, mostly it is static. And if you can understand the concepts and write in a proper format, it's enough. Climatology, writing is much easier, whereas understanding, you need to apply a lot of concepts and clarity is extremely important. For example, when I say winds are blowing, westerlies are blowing, sometimes we need to say that westerlies are blowing from Mediterranean Sea till Himalayas. You need to explain the entire thing with clarity. Until and unless you talk with clarity, evaluators will not understand what are you talking about. For example, if I say the wind is moving from western side of the continents to eastern side of the continents, something of that sort, then you have to write the western side of the continent towards eastern side of the continent. You cannot say that wind is moving from west to east. We don't know whether you're talking about oceans or you're talking about land. So it is extremely important to have that clarity. And this is another important area where you see repetitive questions guys. So let us quickly see what are the areas that we need to understand. As soon as I start, you know that you have temperature and pressure belts of the world, where we have to talk about this along with atmospheric circulation. First, let me talk about temperature. When I talk about temperature, you need to say what is the difference between temperature and insolation. You need to talk about vertical distribution of temperature, horizontal distribution of temperature, inversion of temperature, valley inversion. All these things becomes extremely important for you. The pressure belts of the world should be read along with the atmospheric circulation. And then when I see heat budget of the earth, there are at least 3 different heat budgets that are given. At least if you can know the basic NCERT version, it's fine. But if UPSC asks you any specific name, please understand we need to add the radiation. And we need radiation of greenhouse gases back to the earth. You can call it as re-radiation back to the earth. So those type of concepts also has to be included when you're talking about heat budget of the earth. Atmospheric stability and instability is a concept associated with cyclonic and anticyclonic conditions, low pressure, high pressure areas. There will be certain weather phenomena associated with this. All these aspects you have to see in detail. Then you have 3 types of winds: planetary, seasonal and local winds. Mostly they focus on planetary and local. We have seen few in the classes, but my request to you is it's only names and you have to tell where exactly they will be present. Now if I take this topic, some of the questions as you can see from temperature, inversion of temperature directly, composition of Earth's atmosphere, extremely direct question, mechanism and significance of tricellular meridional circulation of atmosphere, Hadley cell, Ferrel cell, polar cell, potential evapotranspiration associated with the Köppen's classification and all. You will see them again and again. We have included here just to show that about the evaporation, transpiration and other things which actually helps the water entering into the space. And then discuss the development of local winds and their influence on the local weather, giving 3 examples of well-known: Chinook, blizzard, Santa Ana, right? Or you can talk about Harmattan, Sirocco, anything you can take. Write short note on tropical atmospheric instability. The meaning of this is they are expecting you to write closer to ITCZ what things are going to occur. Write short note on again inversion of temperature. Can you see? Repetitive questions. Discuss the forces which govern air movement on the Earth's surface. Pressure, temperature, horizontal, vertical, advection, convection. You have all these things that you talk. Differentiate air movement on the Earth's surface is similar to air circulation. Then you need to talk about Coriolis force, wind system, everything. Horizontal, and when you consider horizontal and vertical, you will be talking about the atmospheric circulation as well. Differentiate between insolation and temperature. Anomalous temperature, direct question from NCERT itself. Again, can you see potential evapotranspiration, and they have linked it with this. So the proper definition for potential evapotranspiration is available near the Trivarta, Thornwhite classifications and all. Meridional circulation of atmosphere, Sirocco and Mistral, local winds. Local winds, can you see? Again, they are repeating the questions. Next, you have monsoons and jet streams. India comes into picture. Air masses, frontogenesis, temperate tropical cyclones, types and distribution of rainfall, hydrological cycle. See guys, very simple. Tropical cyclones and how they are different from temperate cyclones. Classification of air masses and how they are associated with weather conditions. Temperate cyclones, distribution of tropical cyclones, origin, movements and characteristics of air masses, and explain their role in influencing the world climates. That is, temperate, how do they affect jet streams. Today you can add about the polar vortex and other things associated with this. Explain and illustrate the life cycle of a temperate cyclone and also describe the weather associated with it. Can you see, again and again you have same type of questions. Comparative study of tropical and temperate cyclones, give an account of types and distribution of precipitation, discuss the concept of air masses. See, precipitation, this question on the surface of the earth. So if you are aware about the chart where, like hot wet equatorial climate, very heavy rainfall, marine climate, rainfall, heavy rainfall, or we can call it very heavy rainfall because of marine influence. Grasslands, less rainfall. Deserts, least rainfall. Like Mediterranean, winter rainfall. Grasslands, less rainfall. Temperate, monsoons, what we call as summer rainfall. Those type of things you need to say along with giving the places where the rainfall is occurring. Now again you see temperate cyclone, mechanism and origin of monsoon winds, and explain the role of El Nino. Right? What is polar front? Why does cyclone develop along this front? Because of convergence. Examine the various kinds of atmospheric humidity and their associated forms. Rossby waves associated with jet streams. Give an account of global distribution of precipitation. Twice it has repeated. Progress and retreat of Indian monsoon and discuss its impact on Indian economy. Application. Compare the origin and weather conditions associated with the tropical and temperate cyclone. Frontogenesis. How would it lead to instability, rising air? Origin and development of thunderstorms with examples. Easier one. Discuss the nature and origin of Indian monsoon and recent techniques of its prediction. It may be associated with El Nino, La Nina, Monix, all this comes into picture. Discuss dew point and various forms of condensation, snow, rainfall, fog, everything comes into picture. Define air mass. Compare and contrast tropical and temperate cyclones. Classify air masses and explain how CP air mass affects global climate. CP is continental polar, which is present over Canada, Eurasia and all. The winds blowing from here normally try to give snowfall till almost 30. Himalayas protect India from getting this snowfall. Right? These things comes into picture. Hydrological cycle, direct question. Explain the role of evaporation in the hydrological cycle. You can see how repetitive the questions are. Weather and climate, Köppen, Thornwhite and Trivarta, which we keep telling. Classification of Köppen, Thornwhite, Köppen, drawbacks of Köppen, right? How Thornwhite overcame. CS, summer, no rainfall, Mediterranean, just need to talk about it. Discuss the criteria which Thornwhite adopted. Discuss the main features of Köppen. Köppen, CS. Can you see again and again? Trivarta, once they have asked. Global climate change and role and response of man in climate changes. Applied climatology and urban climate. right? So when you look at this particular concept, cryosphere is actually the liquid present in the solid part, and normally they were talking about the poles which were melting. How would the global impact of global warming differ from one part of the earth to the another? I want you to see this question. How would the impact of global warming differ from one part of the earth to another? Give a recent account. You see, I will show you another question. Give a recent account on how the impact of global warming differs from one part of the earth to the other. Can you see both are one and the same, but the only difference between those two is marks. As I told you, most of the questions will be repetitive. You just need to focus on them properly. Explain the factors contributing to global climate change. Discuss the consequences of climate change on agriculture and food security and on the coastal zones of the world. All these are explained with respect to climate change, environment. If you can see, that should be more than enough. Mostly, please understand, guys, these questions are asked from the reports which would be released at that particular time. How does climate change affect the urban areas? Right? It is about the urban heat island and all. You can bring that into picture. Contemporary global climate change is an anthropogenic phenomena. The meaning of that is release of greenhouse gases and all. Climate change is a reality. Explain with suitable examples. Where is it occurring? How is it occurring? Those things comes into picture. Discuss the significance of World Climate Research Program and its core projects. Explain the natural and anthropogenic causes. Hydrometeorological hazards in the Himalayas. Right? So guys, till here, when you observe, these are about the disaster management, hazards and all which are asked here. Let me just tell you a simple thing. Every word in the syllabus, if you can have a 20 to 30 marks answer with you, Koppan, Trivarta, everything, right? If you can have the core in this, it's more than enough. And do you know, apart from the last part which is climate change, rest all is directly from Savindra Singh. This is the reason why many students, they say that we just read standard books and we cleared. But others who don't read standard books and stick to some material available in the market, then it is not possible. And climatology, which is overlapping with prelims. In prelims, the focus will be more on concepts. But in mains, it is mostly associated with the theory. And these questions are static and they keep repeating. They cannot ask beyond this. If you can pick 3 questions each from every topic and if you can write answers to them, I can guarantee you that you can score extremely well in this particular paper. Fine? So guys, please try to focus on climatology so that you can score at least 40 if there is 50 marks question. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.